What's up, everyone? And we are live today. I am here with Tino from the Sophisticated Man. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm good, my man. Thanks for having me on again.
Yeah, you're very welcome. And today, we want to talk about, do looks actually matter when it comes to women? Because there's been a lot of debate on this, and I think like I had you pick the topic for this, and I really like this topic.
hmm
Um, but before we go into the show, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and check out Tino's channel at Sophisticated Man. Definitely, we talk about give you guys some killer content that will help you level up with dating, mindset, and just having you create the best life for yourself.
Heck yeah.
Rock and roll. God, I still have it after not doing this for a month.
I know, man. You go right back into it. Right
So,
back in.
anyways, what, what, why don't you start us off?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think this is a very talked about subject, and it's something that I think a lot of creators sometimes dodge around. Maybe they don't completely like talk about it in depth. So my goal with this is to really like make it clear and give you a definitive answer if looks matter or not when it comes to relationships and dating. And my answer for that is yes, looks do matter, but there is a caveat to that. So they don't matter in the way that a lot of guys think that looks matter. So I'll kind of use this analogy real quick and then we can kind of dive into it. So imagine, say you're getting into a job interview, right? You wouldn't go into that interview with probably like a baggy sweatshirt, like all like messed up hair, like you're not clean cut, you're not groomed, you're not hygienic. You probably wouldn't get the job if you go into an interview like that. And I
Right.
love that analogy because it's the same kind of thing when it comes to dating. Like when you're out with a woman or you're approaching women, you want to start meeting some girls out in the real world, you want to have your best appearance to present yourself because first impressions are everything. So if you look like you're a guy who has his stuff together, who looks like he's confident, who dresses well, who has a good haircut, who, is carrying himself well with body language, that's going to say a lot about your character, about your confidence. And it's going to open the door for the girl to be like, oh, okay, he's a confident guy. I trust him. Let me see where this will go. So I've had the opposite. Um, I've actually been out before where I wasn't like super like my appearance wasn't on point, and you just notice like people don't really give you that same level of like investment, or um they don't react to you in the same way. So I think looks do matter. It just depends on um it's all about appearance and first impression.
Right. So, like, when you talk about like not being on point with your looks, then so just to clarify that to people who watch this later, like, what do you mean by that? Like, is that just like not like wearing a dirty shirt, like have snots hanging out of your nose or some shit like that?
Right. Yeah, it's more so style, it's more so appearance based. So like a lot of guys, and we've all been there before, I'm sure, but the way that we view looks and the way that women view looks is a little bit different. So like as men, we're very visual. So like we'll probably judge a woman off, okay, breast size, what's her face look like? Like, does she have a nice body? Like, how tall is she? We kind of look at these things and we weigh a lot of our attraction on that.
Hmm.
Women, they do, but it's a little bit different. So when a woman looks at a man, she's looking at, obviously, is he standing up tall? Does he look confident? Does he look like he carries himself well? What is he wearing? Does he look like he's very put together? What kind of shoes do you have on? What's your style look like? Is he well groomed? Does he have a good hairstyle? Does he take a shower? Is he clean? Is he cleanly? Um,
Right. No, I hear you
you
on
know,
that. Okay, I got
a
you
lot
on
of it's
that.
just like appearance.
No, I hear you. Oh yeah, especially like the way you kind of present yourself too, like in front of the
hmm
girl. You're talking about like body language and everything, and
Right.
the way you speak to her and everything, and the calmness and the tonality that comes out. Like those are like certain facts to take into consideration.
hmm Totally. And I think, I think the underlying the thing about looks is when a guy like works on his appearance, obviously you're not doing it just to get girls to like you, but when you work on your looks, that conveys a certain level of discipline and it conveys a certain level of character in a man, because if you just like didn't care, and, and you walked out with like a dirty shirt, a stain on it, like you just didn't care what you look like or how you presented yourself to the world, that says a lot about, how people are going to interact with you because they're like, okay, this guy doesn't give a damn and he's going to walk out just however. And, when you put time into it, when you put like care into your look and to your appearance, to how you present yourself, it matters a lot. And especially when it comes to with women, they look at that and they say, okay, this guy, he's very well put together. Maybe you're in pretty good shape. That shows consistency. That shows discipline. That shows that you have the ability to like focus in on something and like stick to it. So it's
Mhm.
it's it's deeper than just the physical appearance. It's what that appearance comes with that I think
Right.
women are really attracted to.
So that's like a mix of everything, though. It sounds
Yeah,
like.
kind
No,
of.
no, I'd have to agree on you. Yeah, 100%. Like the way you carry yourself, like dress and everything, the way you present yourself, that women do read that. They could read into your body language.
Hmm.
Um, and that's why I guess it's important to. Oh no, like, but then some guy who could be watching this, he's going to be like, think, oh God, I'm not going to, you know, how am I going to, present all this?
Hmm.
Someone could say that, you know.
Yeah. No, totally. I mean, and I think we cover this a lot on different topics, but start small. Like I'm not saying you have to go out and buy like Armani suits and just like start dressing like James Bond, but just wear things that you feel comfortable in, things that make you feel good, you look good in. Like wear clothes that aren't overly baggy. They're not like you know super trendy. I mean, you can, but like just wear something simple and something like that you feel good in. Like what I got on right now is like a plain beige t-shirt. It's nothing crazy or over the top, but it's comfortable, it feels good, it fits good. So start with stuff like that, go to a barber shop, like start doing something nice with your hairstyle. It doesn't have to be crazy, but invest a little bit more into your appearance. Take care of yourself. Like take a shower. I hope I don't have to explain that to any guy out there. But like clean, like make sure that you're optimal in areas of like hygiene and stuff like that.
Yeah, brush your teeth and all that
Right.
stuff too. And
Exactly.
if you have problems with any of those, like, hygienic problems, there's always a solution. But say if you're missing a tooth or
Hmm.
you could
Right.
always go back and fix that. But yeah, and it's funny because a lot of, girls, like, they always talk about, like, they like a guy with a nice smile and stuff. And if you have crappy
Yeah.
teeth, that's going to ruin that nice smile and shit.
Hmm. Totally.
Like,
Yeah, I
if
agree.
you have clothes on that, and say, well, I don't know, like, I think I've approached girls when I was done, a few times when I was done working out, but
Hmm.
that's an excuse. You just say, "Oh, I was just working out." But,
Hmm.
definitely, like you mentioned, having clothes that fit. You wanna have clothes that fit. I used to wear a lot of I used to wear, like, large size, jeans that no, well, I would say, like, jeans that were a little I like the baggy feel at first. I didn't
Yeah.
really think about it, but and then I wear, like, the large shirts and stuff.
Hmm.
But eventually, like, I switched over to, like, I was working with, this one guy was telling me, make sure you wear clothes that actually fit. Don't wear anything that's baggy. So I
Hmm.
realized I'm more of like a small size, and I got my jeans size down. But I realized I feel when I actually like I like when I fit into that, when I just feel a bit more confident. You know what I'm saying? It's not
Hmm.
just the style, but when you have clothes that fit, just like, I mean, highlights certain features of your body too.
It does. Yeah, it's like the saying, like, "Look good, feel good." I mean, if you wear clothes that you feel comfortable in, you feel like it maybe you do work out, you have a good physique, it can show off that physique, and, like, if you're wearing clothes that fit, it just gives you a certain level of confidence, and you walk down the street, like, your head's a little higher because 'cause you're like, "Man, I know I look good," and you just carry yourself that way, so it really does affect your attitude.
Mhm. Right. No, it's true. I never really realized that, how, like, it can affect, like, because, like, yeah, if you have a certain style that you're used to and they fit, like, that kind of helps you. I mean, you feel comfortable, you feel, like, cool and everything. It helps you get that vibe going and stuff.
Mhm. No, it definitely does. And I'm not saying that like you can't it's impossible to like pull a girl if you wear like baggy clothing and you're not dressed, well, you can. It's just you're essentially working upstream, I think, if you do that, and it's a lot harder than you really they need it to make. It's a lot harder than it really needs to be, essentially.
Right.
Because I know as guys, like we simplicity is essentially like the best thing that we can do. And I'm a very simple guy. I don't really dress like over the top with a lot of colors, a lot of different things. You can literally walk outside with a black t-shirt like this and look good. And as long as it fits and as long as you feel good in it, you can get away with something like that. So just
Mhm.
simple is better in my opinion when it comes to style. You don't have to go crazy, but as long as you feel good in it, you look yourself in the mirror and you like what you see. You're in the gym, you're working out consistently. It's all going to kind of be in one giant like package there.
Mhm. No, that's true. Well, see, and so I say, even though you got the style down, you still have to
Mhm.
have the mindset, and you have to be able to
Oh
talk
yeah,
to a woman in a confident manner. You can like be like this muscular guy, but you're like all jittery and stuff. It's not gonna work out.
100%. And there you're right, because like I've actually seen guys like that where they're really good shape, like they have pretty good style, but when they get around women, they turn into this totally different person and they freeze up. They don't know how to talk to them. So yeah, it's looks are never they're never a substitute for having true like inner confidence, a good mindset. They'll get you in the door, but you have to have like a good, personality and a foundation to stand on. Because like looks
Right.
alone, they're not going to do everything for you.
Hmm. Right, and so you got to be able to go in there like, yeah. I always, it's weird. I always thought that, yeah, I always used to put fashion over mindset, and it's really the
Hmm.
other way around. They work hand in hand. You're right. You got it down, but you
Right.
definitely like. We're not saying like, oh yeah, you're gonna go meet girls if you have good style, but you also got to go out there and make the effort to,
Hmm.
work on your social skills with women, talk to women, and just be, work on becoming confident, more confident around women.
Yeah. Because you're right. Like you could be the stylish guy, the guy that takes care of his appearance. You can go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week, but if you're sitting in your house all day on your couch, then you're not putting yourself out there to meet people and to meet different women. They don't never actually go anywhere. So like you have to put in the action still, regardless if you have good style or not.
Hmm. Right, that's true. Actually, I got to give myself a kick in the ass for that because I've been so busy lately with stuff. I really haven't had the time to, I haven't made that a priority lately, and so that's something I got to take, responsibility for and kind of get back into again.
What we mean with style?
Oh, well, no, it's just like going out, making time to, I used
Oh
to have
yeah,
some
yeah.
time to go talk to girls and stuff, but I've just been
Hmm.
so busy lately.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to. Like it's you got to know what's a priority for you right now, and that's what I try to tell guys on my channel too. Like, it's not like your whole world shouldn't revolve around just like talking to girls and getting numbers and going on dates. Like that's an amazing part of life, but obviously you have to have something else you're working on. Like me and Robert, we have YouTube channels, we have brands we're trying to build. Like find something for yourself. If you have it's music, maybe it's a job you're trying to level up in, maybe you're trying to get better in the gym, maybe you're just trying to start going to the gym. Have something that is going on beside just going out and getting girls because that's not what everything about life is about.
Right. No, agreed. And yeah, I mean, and the cool thing is when you have your down moments with, with the girls and stuff, because even though when you go out there and you start talking to girls and you go out on dates, you're gonna have those periods where where things are not. You're gonna go have a dry spell for a bit. Then
Yeah.
but when you have something else to like focus on in your life, like you're not gonna let that disappoint you because like
Hmm.
you got something you're working on that it's not just like meaning, oh God, I'm having a brain fart here, which is not just women, you're going out there, you're working on something like a business, or you're doing something, maybe working out, or going out there and just meeting other people. Like when you have that other thing to distract you from the girls, like it's not going to be as frustrating for you.
Hmm. Yeah, it's like I said I say this on a lot of videos, like, a woman is really a good addition to your life. She's not the centerpiece of your life. So like have other things going on. Obviously, we talk about relationship, we talk about dating, we talk about women a lot on this channel. But understand that the underlying thing is like you have to have that foundation of your life as a man to even have any of that other stuff.
Hmm. Right. That's true. I wanted to get back into the looks thing. So,
Hmm.
guys always, think too that, yeah, they want to be with the hottest girl and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But also, like, sure that she looks cute, but also, what else is it to her that's because, like, I mean, yeah, how are you gonna tolerate hanging out with her? And like, she's just like, a bitch or a psycho, but you guys have
Hmm.
nothing in common. I think that's like
Yeah.
a lot of guys, they don't like think about that. They just think about getting, they go, oh, that girl's hot, and don't think
Hmm.
about any of the other characteristics.
Hmm. No, I 100% agree, and I'm glad you're bringing this up because now, kind of on the flip side, it's like, okay, the looks that we value, because we're visual creatures. Like men are very visual. I mean, obviously, we like a woman's beauty, we like her physical beauty, and that's always gonna be important. But if that's the only thing that's keeping you around this girl, maybe that's not the best fit for you because again, she's gonna have to take a shower sometime. You're gonna see her without makeup on, without all getting dolled up. Like if you could still tolerate her in her, normal looking state because you like her personality, maybe you guys get along, you have very enriching conversation. That's what really matters. So I agree. At the end of the day, man, if you're only with a woman because of how she looks, you might want to evaluate what it is you want from that relationship because most likely it's probably just a temporary thing.
Hmm. Well, and see, I think the same could be said for women too. Like, yeah, they might want
Yeah.
an attractive guy, but like, what is it to the guy? What is it just to be
Right.
confident? Like we were kind of talking about this a little earlier, but confidence, is he groomed, or what other personality traits does he have?
Mhm.
But I think looks, honestly, I think that's like the first thing both people, like the guy, man, and women like. But then it's just like kind of see if there's like that connection or flow of energy, if they can find. I wouldn't say commonality, but this like a common ground, like with
Mhm.
person without personalities, like just kind of like clashing where they just kind of fuse together and shit like that, where they're like, okay, cool, this guy's got a great person, this girl's got a great personality.
Mhm. Yeah, totally. I think it is something that happens first, like you said. It is kind of like the thing that gets your foot in the door. But once that door is open, you have to have a personality. You have to have some kind of confidence about yourself, have a good head on your shoulders, know how to carry a conversation, know how to flirt, and all these different things. So it's really like, um, lost my train of thought.
We're
So I
both
was gonna,
losing our train of thoughts
I
today.
know, man. It's been a minute since these live streams.
I know. It's all
Yeah,
good.
I was gonna say something about like the fact that your looks really like that's the first thing that people notice, and really when it comes down to like everybody does this, but we all have that that fight or flight response. We always make judgments, whether we know it or not, about somebody. We always looking, all right, is this person safe or are they not safe? And you better believe women do this at a higher level than most men probably do anyway. So the girl's gonna be looking at you and say, okay, does this guy look like he's a safe, approachable, likable guy? If not, then you're not even gonna have the opportunity to like start talking and show your personality. So I think
Hmm.
the appearance does matter when it comes to first impressions.
Right. No, and that's true. And yeah, yeah, because but I don't know. Do you think so too? Do you think Remember we did a show on this a while ago, but like media and stuff. Do you think the
Oh
media
yeah.
heightens looks and stuff? Like, do they make looks important?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think they promote a certain look or a certain an image of a man or a woman, and we think that is the ideal beauty or the ideal whatever. And a lot of that's pushed on us. A lot of it's societal conditioning. Um, but I think knowing what you truly want and knowing what you perceive as a like obviously like a girl that I find a 10 out of 10 or whatever, you might find completely different. You're like, oh, that's a 4 or that's a 6. Like I ain't a 10. But to me, maybe it is. So like everyone needs to know their own level of preference when it comes to not just physical traits, but personality wise, like what do you look for in a woman? What kind of value do you want her to bring into your life? And what kind of value can you bring a woman? So you have to know also beyond the looks of what are the things that make, what are you looking for when it comes to casual or long term relationship? You got to get clear with those things too.
Hmm. Right. No, that's true. Because like I think, but that comes with experience. I think. Like
Yeah,
I
it does.
realized like because at first everything was just all about looks for me, and then I
Hmm.
kind of after just going out on so many dates, just kind of get sick of dating that
Hmm.
you kind of have you look for personality features that you'd like. So I kind of like I'd have to say when I gone out on all my dates, I kind of seen some of the things I did like about some of the girls I went out with, and the things I didn't. I kind of formulated my ideal, person, traits that I'd like in a girl, even if
Hmm.
it's a casual fling.
Yeah. Yeah, and I agree. It does totally come with experience because if you're not used to going out with really attractive women and then all of a sudden you do, you're like, "Holy crap, this is amazing." And you kind of get caught up in that. You get caught up in the beauty, in the physical, and you're like, "Wow, this is great." But then after a while, you're like, "Okay, I want a little bit more than this. I want something deeper, but I also want more like some kind of personality behind it." Because if you're just talking to a pretty face, she could be the most physically beautiful woman ever, but if she has a shit personality, you're not gonna want to tolerate that. If she's really disrespectful, she's really drama filled, she's very like confrontational with you. I mean, to me, it ain't worth it. And I think you'll find once you go out enough times and you've been on enough dates, you've met a lot of different types of women, you'll start to value a lot of other things above looks. Not to say that looks aren't important, they are. I mean, clearly that's what we're talking about, but they're just not like top of the list when it comes
Hmm.
to having a girl with you.
Hmm. Right. Yeah, it's true. Like, and I've learned too the ones that where I can find some common, personality traits that I like. I've enjoyed like the sex. I mean, I like a girl who's like a very sexual person,
Right.
who's comfortable with being sexual. That's one of my things, and
Hmm.
I find if you could, and I like authenticity. Since I have like I'm very direct. I need someone who can handle my directness and someone
Hmm.
who I can lead. I can't stand someone who's trying to lead me. I used to date women
Yeah.
who try to lead me, and it just doesn't work out now after being,
Mhm.
on my journey and learning, just saying, well, hey, that's a guy, you got to take charge. So I just, if the girl's just trying to lead me all the time, I can't be with someone like that, or someone's going to be negative. Like I don't need no bullshit in my life. I got a lot of good shit going on, a lot of good friends. I don't need someone who's gonna like be negative about everything. So, and
Mhm.
the woman has to be somewhat well grounded too,
Sure. Yeah, those are all important, man. Those are all really important. I think once you start to know yourself too, I think that comes back to like knowing yourself. When you know the things that make you valuable, maybe you are a good communicator, maybe you are more direct, like Rob was saying, maybe you do like to be in that leadership position. You'll know more about that once you grow that self-awareness. And then you find a woman that complements the things that you're offering. How can she complement your personality? How can she complement what your energy, your vibe? And you'll find that once you just go out enough and you've been in the dating scene for a minute, you know what you like, you know what you don't like. It just comes with trial and error. And
Mhm.
I think the only way to know that is literally just to take action and to just start with where you're at.
So another question, but now we're on the subject. Why don't we switch this over to dating apps? Do you think looks are important on the dating apps compared to like what you write
Mm.
in the profile?
Yeah, that's a really good point. So with dating apps, because that's a whole different ball game, really. And I think with dating apps, I think they matter even more because that's the only thing that women have to go off of is your pictures. And yeah, you have a little bio, but unless you have a good picture that captures their attention, they're probably not even reading the bio. So you have to have really good eye capturing pictures. And it's not like you have to have like model looking pictures, but high quality. Like don't take it on like a really crappy iPhone. Like make sure it's clear, make sure it's nice. If you have a nice camera, you can do it on that. But investing a little bit, even if you have to hire like a photographer for a weekend just to get some really nice shots of you, investing in your pictures is a key when it comes to online dating, because at that point, looks are really the majority of what matters on dating apps, and not just like your look. It's just like the look of your profile, the look of your pictures. Are you having engaging looking pictures? You look like a fun guy. Because if you don't, you're probably not even gonna get swiped right on.
Yeah, well, I say, it's funny. I think, the profile itself, like how, like you said, the pictures, but what you say about yourself in the profile
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
And now I can understand why women would be picky if there's a misspelled word in your profile.
Mm,
But but you know what? I always hated that though because everyone has. I'm saying a lot of other people have those problems too. Like people
yeah.
are not the best spellers in the world. Grant,
Oh,
when
for sure.
it comes to grammar.
Mhm.
I always call them out on that. I'm like, well, everyone has. I'm sure. What are you bad at? Because grammar is one of my things. So
Yeah, I mean, me, like, sometimes structuring sentences, I think, can be an issue. Like, sometimes I'll, like, have a long ass sentence and there's no, like, commas or, like, breaking it up to where it looks like it's like one big thought. It's not really, like, broken up, uh, and spaced. That's usually my
mhm.
issue. But again, yeah, I agree. Like, a lot of people have issues when it comes to typing or just spelling correctly, grammar. A lot of that is an issue. Um, I'll say to that though, if you're making a bio, I've found, and this is just my experience, but short and sweet to the point is always the best. Like you don't need to write a novel and like have all this information about you. Just something that's maybe if you're a funny person, like maybe crack a little funny line that you know about or something that describes you in some way. Um, I think less is more when it comes to the bio. At least that's kind of always been my experience.
Right. You know what? A couple thoughts came to mind about this topic now about looks being matter. Looks mattering. So, what
Hmm.
about that guy who may not be that good looking? You know what I'm saying? Say,
Hmm.
or what about a guy who looks like just like a grungy biker guy, and he's still able to go pick up that girl.
Hmm.
Or what about
Yeah.
like a dorky, someone who may be overweight and stuff, and doesn't think, well, what if he says, well, this girl's not going to like me because I'm overweight. So, like,
Hmm.
so what do you have to say to that? And then, but what if those say the biker guy had that confident, the prison-looking biker guy had the confident mindset,
Hmm.
and then, like, say the guy who was overweight, what if he said, "Well, hey, I'm fucking, I don't give a fuck," and he's still happy about himself, and yet maybe he attracted a girl. But what would you say?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It just came to mind.
Sure. No, I mean that's a good point, and I think it does all come down to being authentic to yourself. So, like, for example, with the biker person, like you're not gonna find me wearing like a leather jacket with a bike helmet. That's just not my personality. I
I
don't.
saw you
I
on one of your videos, man. No, I'm
It's like
kidding.
they call me out. No, but like
Yeah, kidding.
I'm exposed. But
Yeah.
but no, like that's you got to be real and like you got to make sure that that's a representation of who you really are. So if you are a biker, or that's just one example, but if you do like that style of activity, then you can show it off absolutely, and that can still work for you because that's being your authentic self. You're showing up confidently because that's truly who you are. So it doesn't mean you have to wear a certain style of clothing or look a certain type of way. Just show up as the best way that you can. Like maximize your own appearance. Like even a guy you said was overweight, I would say, okay, maybe he likes being overweight. There's a lot of health benefits to losing weight and being in shape, but hey, let's say he doesn't want to and he's happy with being, a little bit overweight. That's okay. That's fine too. I think that guy can still I think he can still be successful with women because he's owning himself and like obviously taking care of his hygiene and taking care of his looks and grooming himself. Like I don't really expect that guy to be overweight wearing like a trash bag and going outside and meeting people. I would say again, wear things that fit you, wear things that are make you feel confident, make you look
Mhm.
confident, and then you can still make it work. So it's all about knowing yourself and knowing what like the style doesn't come out when you're just like the clothing itself, it's the person wearing it. It's the man that's wearing it.
Mhm. No, that's true. Well, and like again, like it's you mentioned authenticity. I think
Mhm.
that's important because like you can be authentic as long as you have a certain sense of style and look a certain way. As long as you're authentic and that's congruent with who you are, and yeah,
Exactly.
it's gonna show, girl, you're not bullshitting. What
Hmm.
am I gonna say now? But I think too, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I think sometimes, I mean, there are girls out there who look more like, so the guy could be ugly, but it's they like the, the personality that the guy is. They
Hmm.
like personality that he's a confident guy, he's authentic, he's able to wow her in many different ways.
Hmm.
So I think, I don't know, like, I think, yeah, looks they are important to an extent, but I think too, but I think mindset and the way someone presents themselves, and we mentioned authenticity, isn't could be another thing that can overpower that, the looks, and like women, because some women, like, I know women do say that, I know they, in the absence that they look for guys that are attractive, but I hear women say too, well, it's more of like personality traits too.
Hmm. Yeah, totally. And those definitely outweigh, I think, having a less than ideal appearance. I think for me though, like my point is like the presentation and the appearance is what matters, not so much like because some guys get really tripped up and like, oh, I'm only 5'6" or I'm only 5'3", I can't get girls, or my jawline doesn't look like freaking Brad Pitt's or a movie star. And it's like that's not the thing that really matters as much of you just being a guy who can present himself well to the public. That's really all it is. So it's not like you need to look like you need to be 6'5", you need to be jacked, you need to have your style wearing Armani suits. Like that's not really what matters. The details don't really matter. It's just it's how you convey yourself and how authentic you can be and just showing your best self to the world. That's really all it is.
Hmm. Right. And like it's just like, I think, when a guy could like really learn how to be authentic and stuff, and really communicate himself, authentically to a girl, a woman, I should say, like, that's just when he's going to have the more success. Yeah. And hey, and if you have, if you have the style that, to go along with it, that's like more power to you as well.
Mhm. Yeah, 100%. It's like the style is really just for first impressions. Like you can I think you can get away with having not a great style and still like be charismatic, still be confident, still have a good mindset, talk to women, have a good personality. That'll work for you. Um I think having a good appearance and being presentable is gonna like get you more opportunities, but what you do with
Right.
those opportunities moving forward, yeah, that's gonna be up to your personality and stuff.
Yeah, I think, no, and I do like looks. I think do play an important. I think it's like the number one thing, but it's like once you kind of, I think, after, like, because you said it helps get your foot in the door and everything. It
Right.
provides with opportunities, because I think in society, I mean, we judge people based off the way they look. Yeah, I mean, like you
We
mentioned
do.
earlier, the job interview. I
Mhm.
I remember one time, yeah, but I was out here in Arizona. I was looking for another job, maybe a couple months after I moved out here. I was on my way to a job interview, and my dress pants like tore, like, as I was, because they were super. I took a smaller pair of dress pants with me to my job so I could change before the interview. I was actually late for the interview only because,
Mhm.
like, there was traffic, and I actually went to work early that day just to beat the traffic, but then I was in traffic, and I
Mhm.
showed up like maybe like 20 minutes late to this interview. It was a shithole. But
Mhm.
anyway, so I didn't, so I just had my jeans and a dress shirt, and the lady's like, "You have no dress pants on or anything, or no tie." I'm like, well, and I told her the story. I told her, like, I had dress pants, but like when I went to go change in the bathroom, like, they just tore because they were small pair.
Mm.
But no, it does make a good impression. Like, and that's, when I go on job interviews and stuff, I always do the suit. Yeah, I didn't know, I do dress pants and a tie. I don't go all out with the suit.
Mhm. Yeah, and like it's funny because I've had experiences where, I'd go into a job interview and I always made sure that I had something nice to wear. Like when I was interviewing with so I worked at Dick's Sporting Goods for a while, and I think my first interview I had like a nice little polo, maybe some nice jeans, and then, a good pair of shoes, like a white pair of shoes. But I think as another good point is it also depends on where you're applying. So sticking with the interview analogy, depends on where you're getting it, like where you're applying for that job. So if I'm going into Dick's Sporting Goods, that's an appropriate thing to wear when I'm looking for a part-time retail job, like a 9 to 5 like that. But if I'm applying to, like, let's say Lehman Brothers or like a really prestigious like suit store, obviously I'm not wearing that to a suit store to try and get a job. That's not wearing enough. That's not dressing up enough. So it also too depends on what it is you're trying to attract. If you know, when coming back to like the dating thing, if you're trying to attract a woman that um is really into fitness or really into fashion, who's really into like style and nice clothes, then you probably want to show your best self in that regard to attract a woman who values the same thing that you do. So I kind of say all that to say, like, it just depends on what you're willing to attract and like what you're really into. And that's going to show, hey, maybe I should dress a certain way, or this is going to attract a certain type of girl. You just have to know that kind of going into it.
Mm-hmm. No, that's true, right? I hear you. Like if I'm going to, if I go to like a fancy nightclub, I know I'm gonna want to wear something more fashionable because
Hmm.
like the girls that are there are gonna be wearing something fashionable. Whereas if I'm not going to a nightclub where people don't really, where it's like not as casual, where it's good, then I'm just wear something simple. But there
Hmm.
are places out there. I remember there's this place in Scottsdale. It's called the Hotel W, and I was there for a meetup event. And I walked in there, I was so underdressed.
Hmm.
Everyone there was all like dressed up and everything. I mean, they had a
Yeah,
dress shirt on, but I mean, probably could have gone with the coat and everything.
sure.
But no, that's just an example. Because if I was going to probably go out to meet someone there, I would want to kind of have a style that kind of matches, is
Hmm.
up to their style. But then again, like if you have if you just have the mindset where you don't give a fuck, you don't even think about. You just go there and who cares what people think. You just see, put on your see the personality helps draw the lady and gets her attracted to you. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, 100%. It does. That does outweigh your direct style and like whatever like clothing you have on. But again, I mean, some guys think that like, okay, I don't give a damn. Like they go out, they smell, they don't have like their hair is like messed up and like they just look like a trashed, like nasty person. I'm like, try doing that and go out and meeting people. They're not gonna be, I mean, even a random stranger, if you have BO and you're not taking care of your hygiene and stuff like that, you're not gonna meet really that many people, men included, like anybody. So I'd say take
Mm-hmm.
care of that, like the basics, like take care of the basics, like brush your teeth, put on deodorant, take a shower. Like these are very basic things. Um, and I know some guy. I'm not saying I do this, but I know some guys think that way. It's like, okay, well, I don't give a shit, so I'm just gonna walk out and then not care and not take a shower, not do this. It's like that stuff definitely matters.
Mm-hmm. No, no, definitely. Like even, yeah, when I go out, even when I shower in the morning, like on the weekends, but if I'm going out and I make sure I shower because I've been out in the sun, I've been sweating all day.
Right.
I like to drink my coffee here, so I have my mouthwash and I have my mint bubble gum
Mhm.
too. But no,
Matters.
I think a lot of because I don't know, like I don't like it if I'm talking to someone and they got like bad breath or something
Right.
like that, or
100%.
especially BO. Like, and not that it happens all the time, but I've been around people who have bad body odor. It's like, oh my
Mhm.
god,
Yeah.
I want to get the hell out of the room. And I
Mhm.
feel bad because like they're nice people, but you just I can't put up with it, and so like that is very important, as well. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I think if you didn't if you had bad hygiene though, like even if you had the personality, I had to do a
Mhm.
test on this. If you had, I'm not going to brush my teeth or shower for 5 days and to see if my
Uh,
personality works. That'd be commanding my confidence right there. I was
it would be.
like,
I'd be interested to see those results.
so yeah, that's do like a test result like that. But no, it's important though, definitely to take care of all that. I'm always on top of it. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes I slack, but I'm like 99% on top of my hygiene and shit. Like all my
Mhm.
days where I just don't give a damn. But
Sure.
this is something that's really important. Like I expect that out of the person if anyone, like a friend or a woman I'm seeing or dating.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll piggyback off of that analogy too. It's like, as a man, like, wouldn't you expect your woman to bathe regularly, to smell good, to like look clean? Even with friends, like if I'm hanging out with some friends and we go out or we, go to a sports game or something, like you're not gonna want to sit around somebody who smells like they've been sitting in like dog shit for the last like 4 days, or they just they don't look, presentable. It's like that says a lot about the group, and it says a lot about you and hanging around that person. So that's important for everybody. You don't want to associate with people that like they just don't take care of their hygiene at all.
Hmm. Well, now we can just build onto this. So, you want to make sure you have a clean place too. You don't want to
Yeah,
have shit
100%.
stains on your toilet.
Mhm.
You want to keep a clean sink. You want to clean your dishes, well, dishes all the time.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I'm very good about too. I always I always make sure I clean up after myself in all those areas too. Because I mean, that's you want to make sure. I mean, I have a dog, and so in order, I'm still training her to go. She's been good lately, but sometimes she goes to the bathroom inside. I have a pee pad, but I have an
Mhm.
air freshener just so I can have fresh air. But a lot of people are like, "Wow, it smells so good in here," and they get
Mhm.
compliments of that, or some people are saying your place is clean. One thing I
Mhm.
am lagging though is my car, but I don't drive that much since I get to work from home, you
Mhm.
know, most of the time. But that's the one thing like I could clean up. It's not like I've actually had a girl in the car,
Mhm.
and the last girl I had in the car, we were hanging out. We already been hanging out for a while. I didn't even really need to impress her.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely if you're gonna like have a girl over at your place, you want to make sure that things are clean. Like make sure there's no shit stains in the toilet, like because guys forget about that. Like
We do.
it's frustrating for me because I shave every other day, and
Mhm.
brush my teeth. My sink gets dirty. And I mean I clean it up. It's like an extra chore I got to do. But that's one thing I like to do is just have a cleansing place and stuff. And right
Mhm.
now it's been the only thing that's been difficult. They've been doing work on my apartment because they're installing like an air conditioning and a washer and dryer. So they've
Mhm.
been having contractors walk in, busting out the walls and shit.
Mm.
So my room's a little messy right now because they drilled some holes into the wall for like the electric lines and everything. And
Mhm.
I don't know. So I decided like after moving my shit out of the closet like 3 times already that I'm just gonna leave everything outside the closet until they're done.
Mhm.
It's like a pain in the ass to like go through and put it back. But for the most part though, like it irritates me just because I'm just very clumsy. Like I just
Yeah.
but I got to deal with it for now. I have no control over it. So,
Mhm.
but for the most part, like you definitely want to have a clean place and everything. Because that shows a woman too a lot about who you are too. And like sometimes, yeah, we get lazy. I get lazy too, and it's okay. You don't if you slack. All the every once in a while that's good. But for the
Mhm.
most part, you want to do that. Or even if your place is a little messy, just clean up a little bit. To have your it looking presentable.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree, man. Like all that stuff matters because like how you do one thing is how you do everything, and I I sure learned that in the last year.
Mhm.
It just carries over into other areas of your life, and like I think what you're describing is a beautiful way of like kind of segueing into what we were talking about a little bit earlier, and I think that's responsibility. Like a guy that has a clean place, a guy that cleans himself up. He takes care in his appearance. He takes care in his things that he has. He manages them well. I think that shows responsibility, which is a very very attractive quality that women look for in men. They look for a guy that is he's on top of the things that he needs to be on top of. He takes care of the controllable things in his life. And I think that I mean, to me, that's kind of the point I was making with like the looks do matters because it shows that you're a guy that is responsible. You can take care of the things that you need to take care of in your life. And I think that's what really makes women attracted to you because they don't look at just an attractive guy and think, wow, like look at his beard, look at his thing, look at his clothes, whatever. I'm sure they do to a degree, but I think more so it says a lot about your character and a lot about your
Right.
responsible
I
habits as
like
a
that.
man.
That is so true. Like
Mhm.
I think that the way you the look and the way you have present yourself. Yeah, it shows a woman your character.
Yeah.
Which is the main thing. So I like that because you're saying looks do matter because it shows the character of the guy. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there is some physical stuff involved, but also I think we overlook the character as well as the guy.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah, it's like it's deeper than just the physical look. It's like, what does the appearance say about the guy? Like, what does it communicate about this person?
Hmm. Right, exactly. I mean, that's spot on with that. That was like really good.
Yeah. Because I know, like, it's something every guy thinks of. Like, damn, like I got a big nose. Does that matter? Or like I'm only 5'4". Like, does that matter? Like, guys get so caught up in the small metrics. It's like the physical thing isn't as important as you think it is, but just how you present yourself, just your appearance, that's what matters. It's like just showing your best self to the world. That's really the only thing that girls care about. I mean, if you do the very bare minimum, like if you shower, you put deodorant on, you brush your teeth, like you take care of the small things, that's already putting you ahead of a lot of other guys. Because I'm telling you,
Mhm.
there's a lot of guys that do not do the basics.
Right, exactly. So, do you want to sum up this? And you have a quick final thought for the evening, or before we end the show here?
Yeah, I mean, as a final thought, I'd say, guys, focus on just being your best self. Like, you don't have to look a certain way, you don't have to talk a certain way, stand a certain way. It's just finding what works best for you. And, when we say looks matter, what we're really talking about is how you're presenting yourself to the world at large, not just for women, but just to the world. Are you cleanly? Do you take care of yourself? Are you responsible with the attractive habits that make you an attractive man? Because I think attractiveness is a lot deeper than just the physical. It's being responsible of, you know, being clean, being cleanly, smelling good, and putting your best foot forward when you're out in the world. So take care of the small things. A lot of it has to do with your habits and with the lifestyle that you live. So if you optimize those things, I think everything else will basically take care of itself.
Hmm. No, and that's true. I like summing everything up too. Like, I like how we kind of in the last segment we talked about how like looks show the girl your character, and I think that is a
Mhm.
true. That is very true because I mean, the way you present yourself, the way you take care of yourself, shows you can tell a woman a lot about you.
Yeah.
And you know and there, yes, like sometimes we like to judge people off the looks. Yeah, I'll admit I like that looks do kind of matter for me when it comes to like a girl. The same thing does too, but at the end you got to kind of see if there's you guys can find some commonality, some common ground as far as like, do you like, what other thing can you find, some other things that you find attractive about the woman besides her looks? Because
Hmm.
you don't want to be that guy who's just wanted to be with an attractive woman who's like gonna you know be boring or have nothing to her character, or
Hmm.
who's gonna like berate you or just make you feel like shit. It's not worth it. And like I said, I mean, if you want to, if you're the type of guy who wants to put up with that shit, I mean, hey, by all means, go for it. But
Go
that's
for it.
not me. But you want to look for, try to, look for some character in the woman, not just the physical features, because like, I mean, it's really, that's what's going to make her even more sexually attractive when you can find that character in the woman, and if you find that connection with that, and if
Hmm.
she can accept you for that, your personality traits as well, and yeah, you'll definitely kick ass, and definitely go out there and figure out, well, what if you're kind of thinking about what we are talking about, go out there and take action. Like, okay, what can I do to present myself a lot better when I'm, going out there to talk to girls, or what can I do to, about my appearance? What can I refine to kind of communicate to a woman like my character and everything?
Mm. Yeah, well said, man. I agree.
Well, rock and roll. Well, hey guys, thank you very much. I promise I'm going to be on doing a lot more shows. I've just been super busy, but things have kind of toned down. So we'll be on again in 2 weeks from now, and we look forward to like you having you guys on. And who's ever been watching today, jump on and be sure to put some comments into the chat if you have any questions. We're here to help you answer them. And you can be sure to subscribe to my channel, and check out Tino's channel. Like if you look at the it's in the little graphic here at Sophisticated Man. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. Until then, take charge, take control, and command your fucking confidence and kick ass in life. Peace.